Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Education Marketing Strategies to Drive Enrollment and Promote Your Institution. My name is Arda, and I'm part of the marketing team here at StackAdapt. I would like to hand it over to our presenters to get us started.
Thanks, Arda. So just a little bit about StackAdapt. We are a omni-channel DSP where you can have all your planning, execution, and managing your campaigns all within one platform. We have state-of-the-art technology, and we'll go through some of those within the presentation in just a second.
Hello, everyone. Just to present ourselves, I'm Alice. I'm an account manager at StackAdapt based in the UK.
And I'm Yasmin, also an account manager based in the UK as well. So this is our agenda. We'll be going through trends on the rise for the education industry, your institution's journey to success, targeting strategies in order to achieve that success, channels and creative tactics to explore, and then at the end we'll have a wrap up and a Q&A as well. So trends that are on the rise within the education industry. So we know that Gen Z engage with content across various different devices at any one time. So having a multi-channel approach is key within your digital first models. Also, we know that precision will outweigh costs. So ensuring that your targeting is precise and hyper granular is essential within the education industry in order to make sure that you're hitting the right audience, even if that is a little bit more expensive, it will pay off in the long run. And then lastly is conversational marketing. So we know that Gen Z are less interested in more polished formal messaging, and they prefer kind of a more informal approach and a glimpse into their experience at your actual institution. So this sort of tone of voice within your marketing and your creatives is key as well. And also we know that Gen Z are prioritizing higher education, and then just going on from the point previous, they're really interested in life as a student on campus and also life after they graduate. So these factors are really important when kind of considering your tone of voice within your creatives. They're also interested in the quality of teaching and also kind of the support that they will get whilst at your institution as well. And the preferred higher education type at the moment is university, but college is definitely on the rise as well.
So let's take a deeper look at the key things that we need to consider when mapping out the marketing journey of your academic institutions. So having a clear idea of who our clients' profiles are is essential. So the top things to focus on and to remind ourselves of are segmenting client profiles. We can do so by demographics, interests, preferences, and therefore create personas. The channels that these profiles are most likely to spend time on. The timelines for each part of the consumers and the consumer journey, which may differ by persona. The various touch points where they may interact with your brand, and you want to connect with them emotionally as well as create a trust with them, a level of trust with them. And of course, all the data that you collect need to be reviewed and updated regularly. Once you have all your data, all the data is collected, then we can start analyzing it. And you may want to ask yourself some of these questions. You may want to know which location your applicants are coming from, which competitors they are considering alongside yourself. What do you compare with your competitors? What courses are the more popular, and therefore which one are in growth or decline in interest? Finally, we can come up with an enrollment journey that looks at the various stages of the student decision-making process. And we want to make sure that your institution is top of mind and your messages about enrollment are noticed by the relevant audiences. We need to remember that Generation Z is a self-shopping audience, and therefore is likely to consider you if it's easy to contact schools directly, and if they're able to read ranking reviews and websites about yourself. To consider your institution amongst others, you'll need to make sure that you highlight what makes you special and therefore you stand out from the crowd. In the decision-making phase, it is important to remember that students take roughly around 2 months from the time they start reviewing, the start of their research, and therefore it is important that you encourage finishing up the application of those who have started one. And finally, with the enrollment phase, where you get your application completed, you are able to manage to measure the success of your advertising campaigns.
Great. And moving on from that, we have put together a marketing timeline for higher education. So we do know that it is more of a considered timeline. So having kind of a year-long approach is key. During the key times, which will be May to July, this will be very much the awareness phase. So the objective for this sort of time period within the year is to collect information and drive people with high intent. So in order to drive that brand awareness for your institution, we recommend channels such as CTV and video in order to kind of educate your users, and then also native ads where users can kind of click through to informational article pages in order to do their research on your institution. Then we have August to October. During this time, we would recommend to maximize geographic reach. So you would have your audiences that you've cast the net wide throughout May and July, but then also making sure that you are casting your net even wider by running local, national, and also international campaigns at the same time to leverage all those users. Then through November to January, this is when you will drive users further down the funnel into the consideration phase. So retargeting users who have visited your site, also utilizing first-party data, CRM data that you've collected, and geo-targeting around any events. So around kind of campus open days and things like that to reiterate your brand messaging and drive users further down the funnel. Then lastly, throughout February and April, this is sort of the enrollment phase. So the objective is to get users to complete applications, and we would recommend to focus less on prospecting and more on kind of pixel data that you already have throughout your previous activity. So make sure that the messaging is very direct and personalized. So for example, you would have different messaging for different programs, such as like a science program or English, that sort of thing. Also targeting your CRM list and utilizing that, and then dynamic retargeting for users' interest as well, based on different subjects and programs. You can also use AI to improve your campaign strategy. So AI is a very useful tool in terms of being able to quickly produce things. It helps to understand your audience more, so gain better insights into an audience by asking them about different personas in order for you to create different persona target audiences. Ad copywriting, it helps to generate different ad copy variations that you can use for those different personas that you have gained insights from. Then also testing out that messaging to see if it actually does resonate with your audience, and then you can tweak it and rewrite it if needed. And then lastly is generating images, video and audio. So you're able to use AI to recycle those assets that you may have and put them into different creatives or different platforms, which is something that we think you should leverage within the education industry. Also adopting a student-first communication strategy. So As we know, Gen Z are very digital first consumers. They like to research through digital, so making sure that you have a digital first approach. Leveraging your students' voices, so things like testimonial creatives to make sure that your brand feels more personified, to make users feel like they are resonating and they know what sort of experience they will get at your institution. Again, implementing conversational marketing strategies, so not having as formal kind of tone of voice and more informal to make it feel more personalized to the Gen Z user. And then, yeah, personalizing that message for kind of each student persona across different programs as well. Then moving on to targeting strategies. So we also have, these are the targeting strategies that we would recommend for the education sector. So as mentioned previously, utilizing that first party data, so onboarding your CRM data to build out audiences from your current students and also users with high intent. This is something that is unique to you, so you are able to utilize that data that is paramount. And we also have a audience lookalike expansion where you can use this CRM data that you have uploaded, and our technology will find users who are acting in similar ways in order to make sure that your campaign is getting as much reach and scale as possible whilst utilizing your CRM data. Then we have location targeting as well. So we know that the majority of students nowadays are choosing institutions that are near to them, just because of the way the world is at the moment. So making sure that you are hyper-local and focused as well through geo-targeting, ensuring that your advertising is customized and relevant for the particular location, which we know that will drive greater overall engagement and kind of resonates better with the audience as well.
Another targeting approach is costume segments. So costume segments by leveraging intent-based segment, which could be, for example, capturing students and parents consuming undergraduate or postgraduate content or loans and scholarships topics, or, for example, targeting people based on their internet provider or targeting people using mobile devices up to being able to intersect different audiences together. We can, through a retargeting image pixel and upon consent, we can collect impressions that have been shown through StackAdapt and create a pool of users that you can then retarget through your social media campaigns. So this is a nice way to bring your programmatic and social media activity together. Finally, we can use artificial intelligence to create multiple user experiences using in-context phrases and keywords. We recommend the use of our proprietary solution, which is Page Context AI, to reach audiences without the use of cookies, maximize performance, and target niche contexts. And last quarter, I was able to manage a campaign around an institution. And the campaign objective was the one to create awareness of the brand, of the courses, expand reach, and driving website traffic. And we did this through the use of a combination of video and display ads. And we used some of the targeting approaches that we just touched on, such as, for example, costume audiences through browsing behaviors, as well as site lookalikes and specific interest and intent. And we ended up the campaign with outstanding results, a 0.20% click-through rate from a video point of view, an 89% video completion rate with a CPCV of 0.01. The campaign, at the end of the campaign, we also run an ad effectiveness study, which showed that StackAdapt drove 66% of the visit to the website while the campaign was on, and the predicted probability of a user visiting the site went up from 0.2 to 4.7 while the campaign was live.
Great results there. Channels and creative tactics that we can explore. These are just a few of the channels that we have available on our platform that we've kind of briefly touched on previously. So native is a format where the ad will take shape of the look and feel of the website that the user is currently on. So this is great to guide users further down the funnel. It's able to appeal to a broader audience, but also is very good for the educational piece and brand awareness. So users can kind of have a little glimpse of what they could expect when they click through to your ad, which really helps in terms of getting users further down the funnel into that consideration phase. Then we have display as well. This is our richest format where you can learn a lot more about your target audience. You can have different sorts of display creatives. You're able to also communicate effectively your messaging. So here you can see that they are quite interactive formats. So having that more conversational tone of voice within these sort of formats is key in order for you to drive users to applications for your institution. And then lastly, we have connected TV. So connected TV is very much a brand awareness channel, but we do have specific targeting options available within our platform, such as time of day, day of week, frequency cap, and device type. So this is where you can utilize a lot of your video creatives, but then also use elements such as QR codes to drive users further down the funnel on their mobile devices, for example.
Yeah, and it is important also to look at the creative aspect of your campaigns. So we came up with some recommendation for your creative assets that you can use for promoting both e-learnings and higher educational courses. So we'll start with the e-learning ones. Here we recommend the use of dynamic ads as they're great at grabbing users' attention. You can create ads featuring interactive quizzes to give a glimpse of your interactive courses. And you may want to create mini campaigns just to focus on specific modules and to target a specific audience. Finally, we would suggest the use of interactive infographics that help visualizing your e-learning courses and mapping them out. For creatives around higher education, we want to make sure that your applicants fall in love with the place and they visualize themselves on campus. So it is important to create an emotional connection. And we recommend the use of interacting calendars showcasing upcoming campus events. You may also want to highlight webinars promoting programs and career paths, as well as showcasing alumni success stories. Finally, having an interactive board that lets students customize their courses preferences, such as, for example, choosing their majors or minors, will make their decision-making process more engaging and more fun. Let's remember the importance of having a multi-channel approach. We see that 75% of buyers use multiple channels before purchasing. So using different channels help extend your reach and create a strong brand awareness. It helps you reach students on their preferred channel throughout their decision-making process, as well as push them down towards the funnel, and therefore improve your number of enrollments and return on investment. To wrap up, what we want you to take away from this webinar is that programmatic is a platform that can handle multiple demands and multiple channels. For instance, you can run native audio display, in-game videos, digital out-of-home, connected TV, all from one single platform access. Our platform has also been voted as #1 DSP in G2. Lastly, we recommend that you use programmatic to reach the right audiences through the right channels and explore the strategies that have been proven successful to be able to access multiple channels from one single platform to impact your targeted audiences, and use the right creatives and strategy that resonate with potential students.
Thank you, Yasmin and Alice. That was a very insightful presentation. And with that, we would now like to jump into the Q&A portion of our webinar and open up the floor to any questions you might have. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please place them in the questions box of the GoToWebinar panel. There are several questions coming through already, so just a heads up, if you're not able to get to yours today, please don't worry, we'll follow up directly with you after the webinar. Okay, so first question. In terms of creatives, what has been proven to be most effective for lower funnel campaigns?
Yeah, for lower funnel campaigns, display is a great channel to use, but also creative wise, it's definitely more testimonial creatives. So ensuring that you have that more personalized approach and more kind of personified approach to your institution is really important in the education industry. So yeah, definitely testimonial, and also making sure that kind of human faces are within that creative as well is really important as well.
Thank you, Yasmin. Second question that we have is, we are just getting started with programmatic. Which channel would you recommend for awareness campaigns, CTV or native, or any other channels?
I can take that. We would recommend both channels, to be honest. As you saw from the presentation, native ads are consumed via editorial content and are proven to give us high brand awareness rates. And CTV's campaigns have the power to deliver a message in a more immersive and receptive environment, because users are usually more relaxed and therefore more keen to get the messages coming in. So definitely recommend a mix of both.
Thank you, Alice. And another question, what level of control does StackAdapt offer in terms of budget allocation and campaign optimization?
I can take that one. Yeah, StackAdapt offer great levels of control. So in terms of budget allocation, you can have media cost or performance-based budget allocation, and also scale-based. So performance-based, the campaigns and the platform will follow the performance. Scale-based, it will follow where your audience is in order to reach the scale and deliver out the budget. And in terms of optimizations, our platform is very intuitive in terms of reporting. Our reports are pulled in real time, so you're able to see things such as day of week, time of day, and our platform also pulls reports down to the last impression for domains and supply sources. So the control there is definitely very broad, and you're able to control as much as you want or as little as you want.
Thank you. And our last question is, we're interested in digital out of home. Could you give a couple examples as to how a college could add that into the marketing strategy?
Yeah, I think digital house of home is a great channel to use within your channel mix. We would place that up on the upper funnel level. So it can be used in so many different ways thanks to the targeting option that we have available when we run programmatic digital out of home. It can be placed across or nearby your institution campuses, and then we have the availability to play with time of day, time of the week. So we can display different creatives, different messaging, depending on the time or the day, as well as we can adjust messages based on external factors, like, for example, weather targeting or location. So definitely a great channel to have in your mix, because it makes a great impact and is a mass channel and impacts like a lot of people at the same time.
Okay, that was the end of our questions. Thank you so much once again, Alice and Yasmin. And that concludes today's webinar. Thank you all for attending today. We hope you found it both informative and insightful. And thanks again for joining us, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.